Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce, my name is Rohaila. On this occasion, I will present a material with the title Leading in Global Environmental Change. This topic is very important because we live in an era where change happens so fast and dynamic. The world now feels smaller because everything is connected, from economy, culture to technology. Just imagine, one small innovation born in Silicon Valley can affect the way we work, study, and even shop in Indonesia in just a matter of weeks. This is what is called the era of globalization, where borders between countries are increasingly blurred and change becomes inevitable. Today's leadership is therefore no longer just about how to lead a team in one place, but about how a leader is able to adapt, think globally, and lead in the midst of profound changes taking place around the world. First of all, let's understand what is meant by global environmental change. Global environmental change is any form of change that takes place at the world level and affects the way organizations or companies operate. This change can be caused by various factors, such as technological progress, economic globalization, climate change, social and cultural development, to the international political situation. For example, the advancement of digital technology and artificial intelligence or artificial intelligence has drastically changed the way humans work. In the past, administrative or operational work was done by many people, but now enough with one automated system. All can be completed quickly and efficiently. Another example, global climate change makes many companies have to adjust their production strategies to make it more environmentally friendly. Even the energy sector is now starting to shift from fossil fuels to renewable energy. All this shows that global change creates both challenges and opportunities. Challenges for those who are not ready to adapt. Read the direction of change and take the right steps. But of course, being a leader in the midst of global change is not easy. There are many big challenges that today as leaders have to face. The first challenge is the rapid change of technology. New technologies emerge almost all the time, and organizations that are not able to adapt will be left behind. For example, many traditional retail companies eventually go out of business because they cannot compete with digital-based e-commerce. The second challenge is cultural diversity and international workforce. In a global organization, a leader must be able to understand and appreciate the differences in culture, language, and values between employees, the style of communication, and the way of work between employees in Japan that tends to be formal is certainly different from employees in America who are more open and expressive. The next challenge is the pressure of the global economy. Exchange rate fluctuations, inflation, and the world financial crisis can have a direct impact on the business strategy of companies in various countries. And last but not least, today as leaders must also pay attention to sustainability and social responsibility. Society now not only judges the company by how much profit it makes, but also by its contribution to the environment and social welfare. For example, Apple, under the leadership of Tim Cook, faces various global challenges such as production supply in China, market competition, and environmental issues. Yet with its adaptive and innovative leadership strategy, Apple remains one of the most successful companies in the world. To deal with all those changes, a leader must have a certain character and ability. There are several important characteristics that leaders must possess in the global era. First is visionary nature. That is, the ability to have foresight and predict the direction of change. A visionary leader not only focuses on what is happening now, but also is able to see opportunities in the future. Second, a leader must be adaptive and flexible. Third, global leaders must be communicative and open. In an environment full of cultural differences, The ability to communicate well becomes very important to avoid misunderstandings. In addition, leaders must also think strategically and make decisions based on data and global understanding, not just based on personal intuition. And finally, global leaders must have empathy, which is the ability to understand and appreciate the diversity of people around them. A real example of a leader with that character is Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. When he took the lead, Microsoft, which previously tended to be closed and less innovative, managed to transform into an open, collaborative, and innovation-oriented company. Nadella introduced the concept of growth mindset, the view that everyone should continue to learn from change and make it an opportunity to grow, not as a threat. Furthermore, to be able to lead effectively in the midst of global change, a leader needs to have a clear strategy. One important strategy is to build a culture of innovation and continuous learning. Leaders need to encourage every employee to keep learning, try new things, and not be afraid to fail. Successful organizations in the global era are organizations that are open to new ideas and dare to conduct experiments. The next strategy is to optimize digital technology. Today's leaders must understand the important role of technology in supporting decision making and improving efficiency. The use of big data, artificial intelligence, and digital information systems can help organizations make faster and more accurate decisions. In addition, global leaders also need to develop cross-cultural communication skills because in global organizations, success often depends on the ability to interact with people from different backgrounds. Leaders must also maintain organizational sustainability and social responsibility. Good leaders not only focus on short-term benefits, but also consider the long-term impact on the environment and society. For example, Unilever, under the leadership of Alan Jope, managed to change many company policies to be more sustainable, such as reducing plastic waste and empowering local communities. This shows that good global leadership must be able to balance between business, environmental, and humanitarian interests. Friends, the question may arise: is this global leadership only relevant for big CEOs or leaders of multinational companies? The answer is no. Global leadership is not only about high positions, but about
Even
how
in
to
a
think
campus
and
environment,
community, or small organization. We also need the ability to adapt, think openly, and innovate. Each of us can become a global leader in their own sphere. We can start from small things, such as learning to collaborate with people from different backgrounds, using technology wisely, and daring to get out of the comfort zone to continue learning. True global leaders are those who are able to bring positive influence, no matter how small the scope. Thank you for the attention of all friends. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.